A little while ago, I asked y'all to tell me what the official unwritten rules of Destiny 2 were, and I think that went pretty well. There were a lot of good answers. I took my favorite ones and put them into a video. Funny story though, the amount of comments on that video was around quadruple what I normally got. Apparently all of you had many more unwritten rules to share. That brings us to why we're here now. I asked you on Twitter to tell me what you felt were the official unwritten rules of Trials of Osiris, and today we're gonna confirm what they are. But real quick, I gotta tell you about Infinity Kingdom. They are the sponsor of today's video. Big shout out to them. Infinity Kingdom is a free-to-play MMO strategy game with a fun cartoon style. The game allows you to summon famous figures from history or legends to come help you fight against evil gnomes. Let me ask you, do you like dragons? Good. Infinity Kingdom has a ton of them, and you can hatch dragons of 7 elements to pair up with immortals to enhance their in-game capabilities. Dragon designs range from I want to pet him to don't tangle with that mofo. And while we're at it, why don't we talk about troop formation? You can use troops to raid other kingdoms or gather resources outside of the map. There are 4 types of troops: shieldmen, spearmen, cavalry, and bowmen. Each troop type has an advantage over another troop type. Pairing together troops and dragons is something you're going to need to think about. For example, the water dragon has a powerful healing ability that can improve your team's overall survivability on the battlefield. That water dragon also has the ability to beef up your troops' damage, crit, and dodge rate. Find the right combinations that work well for you and your team and make it happen. Players get to join one of 3 kingdoms and wage war against the other 2. Each kingdom needs to occupy as many cities as they can in order to become more powerful. The ultimate goal being to conquer the largest city on the map, the World Heart. Whichever alliance occupies the World Heart, well, they'll be able to choose the king for all the land. Kind of a big deal. There's an event going on right now called Contention of Legends, and it's being joined by influencers from different countries and regions, including the US, the UK, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and South Korea. Dive into Contention to conquer the previously mentioned World Heart, but before you dive in though, gotta make sure you're in the right server. To do that, click up in the top left corner, then down in settings, followed by character. If it doesn't show you in server 97, well, click on create a new character, then click the Contention of Legends server, and you're good to go. For returning players, anybody who did not log into the game for 7 days will get a special and unique speed up buff if they hop back onto Infinity Kingdom. Download Infinity Kingdom today via the link below in the video description and join Kingdom Ydvia in the fight against those no good jabronis in the Ruslan Kingdom. Alright, back to the content. Unwritten rule number 1, bag not, lest ye be bagged. A lot of people dropped that one on Twitter, and I wholeheartedly agree. It is very, very rare that I will throw the first stone in the bagging department. I haven't really done that since back in my Halo days. Most of the time, I just do my own thing, but if you decide to go out of your way and disrespect, all bets are off. Counter bagging or venge bagging is a-okay in my book. There's actually fewer feelings in this world more satisfying than launching a comeback against a team of teabaggers in any FPS game, beating them and giving them a taste of their own medicine. It's poetic, kinda beautiful, and 100% justified in my opinion. In fact, bagging too early can often lead to fueling the other team's rage, and if the other team comes back to beat your clown ass, hey, you really got no one to blame but yourself. However, that being said, unwritten rule number 2, teabagging your teammates is not only okay, but encouraged. You know, context and intent is always important, and while a complete stranger on the other team might not know if you're being friendly or if you're being cocky, those that you're closest with probably know when you're just giving them some good old-fashioned gentle ribbing. If you're anything like my friends, we love nothing more than messing with each other, even during important games. Usually I'll save my friendly teammate bagging towards the end of the game when we've already locked up the W. That way it kind of takes the edge off. Even if I've lost a game of Trials and I'm watching from the death cam and seeing that the other team isn't bagging us but they're bagging each other, I somehow don't feel as bad about losing. I'd rather get my mercy broken by a team of funny jabronis all having a good time with each other than a bunch of toxic butt wipes. Unwritten rule number 3, if the other team is getting stomped and they've given up completely and they're emoting on spawn, go emote with them. The game's already over. They've thrown in the towel. You've won. At least let them go out on a high note. Let them know that sportsmanship ain't dead. Get out there, give them a toast, dance with them, give them a hug, whatever they want to do. They're cool enough to not baby rage at losing, and they're patient enough to not have completely rage quit mid-game. You honor each other, you have a chill moment on the battlefield, and then kill them if they haven't jumped off the map voluntarily yet. And by the way, if I'm playing with a team of friends, we've already gone flawless and we're playing on an already broken card, we might just quit out and give the other team the win. No joke, we've done it before, many times. Moving on. Unwritten rule number 4, always revive your dead teammates when the round is over. Why the hell not? Even if you only bring them back for a few seconds before the next round, hey, that's a couple of seconds shaved off the cooldown for their next Hunter dodge, their next Warlock Rift, their next super, whatever. Every little bit adds up over time. And yeah, I know rule number 4 may clash a little bit with rule number 2, but remember, you can bag your teammates and pick them up at the same time. Unwritten rule number 5, ain't nothing wrong with using your super in a 1v1 situation. I know a ton of people who really get worked up on the microphone and even trash talk people for, quote, needing to use their super to win a 1v1. But man, f that noise. A round win is a round win, and it doesn't matter if your super wipes the entire team or just one dude. Your abilities are there to help you in game, and if you can lock up a round win or even a complete game win, do it. That being said, it is usually a good idea to try and lock up the kill without your super if you happen to find yourself in a 3v1. Yeah, round wins are important, but there's no need to kill a housefly with a hand grenade, right? Don't throw your trump card away if team shooting and collapsing will do the trick. On the subject of using your super, unwritten rule number 6, for the love of God, don't take your super with you back to orbit. Aside from teabag related comments, this was the #1 most brought up rule in the entire Twitter thread. I can't tell you how many games of Trials I've been in where the enemy didn't pop their super for whatever reason, even when the game was about to end. If you watched my 50 games of solo Trials video, my flawless game ended in a win when 2 teabaggers on the other team didn't pop their roaming supers for reasons unknown to everyone, including God. You can't take your super with you back to orbit. You can't bring it to the next game. You're only hurting yourself and your team. Use your super. Unwritten rule number 7. Everybody gets sniped sooner or later, but for the love of God, learn from your mistakes and don't repeatedly challenge the same lane each and every time, especially if you're immediately getting picked off first every round. Really, my original rule, I've always been fond of saying to Trials new players, is simply rule number 1, don't get picked. A classic. Unfortunately, breaking this rule is unavoidable, but do your best to try to not get gunned down first each and every round. And if you do, it's okay, but again, learn from your mistakes and don't stubbornly challenge the enemy team the same way in the same lane again and again and again. You're only gonna have yourself to blame. Unwritten rule number 8, loadout wise, leave honor at the door. Believe me, that doesn't mean that I think that the game is perfect and doesn't need tweaking, cough, cough, shatter dive. I always have loadouts where if used against me, I will be salty. But that being said, I understand the game. There isn't a second lighthouse where they allow people in if they use, quote, honorable loadouts. There is only win and loss, victory and defeat. If you have your own personal loadout restrictions, I ain't here to try and change your mind. Use whatever, don't apologize. But your personal loadout restrictions do not, nor will they ever, be something that you'll be able to force upon other people, least of all the enemy team. Expect the most effective loadouts, weapons, and tactics in Trials each and every time. Finally, unwritten rule number 9, if you f up and make a mistake, own up to it. Nobody, I repeat, nobody likes playing with that guy who, no matter what happens, nothing is ever their fault. Did you die first? Well, they're gonna tell you that you effed up, you pushed too hard. Why the hell did you go in first? Don't die so early next time. Did they die first though? Well, why the hell did no one back them up? Why was no one there to support me when I so boldly pushed the enemy team? You were just sitting in the back on your ass like a coward. I'm out here alone. Everybody has a friend like this, and playing with that guy is goddamned insufferable. I'm not saying that everyone always has to be 100% salt-free, but everyone makes mistakes. Even top-tier tourney level players make mistakes. The best players miss shots, they make bad plays, they do things they shouldn't have, or they don't make moves that they should have. When you make mistakes, all you gotta do is own up to it. It can help you move forward and be a better player. Hell, it can even make you a better person. And F it, because I don't wanna go out on such a sappy note. Unwritten rule number 10, if you do any amount of damage to another player on the enemy team, always call out, he's one shot. Hey, admit it, we've all done it. And don't worry, if anybody says, hey, that guy had full health, just go with the classic, oh man, he must have had really good recovery. He was weak when I called it. They'll never know. And there you go, the official unwritten rules of Trials. There were plenty more that I read through which I really enjoyed, even if they didn't wind up making the list. I want to thank everyone who hit me up with their great rule ideas. Do me a favor, would you? Click like on today's video and then head down to the comment section and tell me what your official unwritten rules are for Trials. Check out the original unwritten rules of D2 video if you didn't see it before, and remember to click subscribe for more gaming content. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.